Well, we're back at the card corner at the Magic Palace. And as you know, sometimes I do some card tricks, some things that I like to do to fool friends and neighbors all over. On the other hand, there are times when I like to show you what could happen to you if you play poker with somebody that you really don't know too well. I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've done for police departments throughout North America. And in order to demonstrate, I'm just going to use the 4 aces. And by the way, this is a true story. I know it's a true story because I make it up as I go along. Just last week, I was hustled into a game of poker. You believe that, sir? You believe that, and you'll believe anything. Now, I'll be honest with you. It was a Friday night, and I was working late. Now, because it was late, I was tired. I was lazy, so I used a marked deck of cards. That's understandable, isn't it, sir?
Sure is.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, a marked deck is not like this. A marked deck is simply a deck that you can tell each and every card from the back as easily as most tell it from the front. Now, after the gentleman to my right cut the cards, I happened to notice that the ace of spades was on top of the deck, which, of course, is a very good card. And, sir, how many people would you like to see in this friendly little game of poker?
5.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, when I went to deal... Well, you didn't think I was going to give the ace of spades to them now, did you? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been photographed doing this many, many times. And usually when I do it with the cards in the normal position, face down. However, I'm now going to do it for you, face up, to give you a chance to catch me. Sir, are you ready?
Yes.
You are. The ace of spades is on top. You sure? The ace of spades is on top. You're positive. The ace of spades is on top of the deck. Somebody asked for a card. Would you like to see that again, sir? Of course, if you want, you see, you can deal all day and the ace just stays there. Now that you know how to do that, you can go home, practice, and make a fortune. A little while later on, we're playing Blackjack. Now, of course, in Blackjack, the ace of spades is the best card in the deck, but they deal differently. Somebody asks for a card, you give it to him. Once an hour, you give him that, he's broke. You still got it. A little while later on, the fellow over here made a small bet. Now, remember, folks, I want to win, because if I lose, I've got to cheat twice to get my money back. The ace of spades is on top of the deck. He asked for a card. Gentleman over here asked a question, so I gave it to him with one hand. You want another? Gave him that, kept it here. On the other hand, if I'm dealing face down, I don't want the top card. I can deal to myself like this. I can deal to a partner like that. And the ace still stays here. When you're playing stud, you're required to call out each card as it's dealt, such as a jack or a 10, but you keep the ace. People have said to me, okay, Martin, you think somebody's cheating. What do you do? I've asked this question professional gamblers literally all over the world. And by and large, every single professional I've ever talked to has said, Martin, make him hold the deck lengthways in the hand. Because by holding it in this position, these fingers are fully stretched out. It digs into the palm, and it literally cramps the hand. And according to professionals, nobody has ever learned to hold a deck of cards like this, deal them, and keep an ace on top. Would I lie? Of course. Now, thank you. Just a moment ago, I was talking about the most popular game in gambling today, which, of course, is the game of Blackjack. Now, folks, what I'm now about to show you will never happen to you in any casino anywhere in the world. Matter of fact, it will not happen to you in any private game anywhere in the world. As far as to our knowledge, I'm the only person who's ever completely mastered this, but I like to do it because it gives me a little show, to show off a bit. Blackjack is not a North American game. It was invented in France in around 1750, where it was known as Pinenuen. It went to England, where it was known as Poon. And then around, 1830, it became popular in North America, during the days of what we commonly refer to as the riverboat gambling era. Now, during that time, they realized, and they got the name Blackjack here because of these two cards. Now, at that time, they realized that anybody could have a perfect blackjack on the bottom of the deck. And because there's only two cards to control, when he shuffles them, just by simply dropping them onto the table first, could literally shuffle all day and never disturb those two cards at the bottom. So if he was at all proficient in bottom dealing on the first round, he could always get a blackjack, of course, make a great deal of money. So for that reason, and many people do not know the reason for this, they decided to reverse one card. It's what we now refer to, sir, as burning a card. The idea is simple. You can't bottom deal. You see, if you go bottom deal, you get the wrong card facing the wrong way. And, sir, how many people in this game Blackjack? 5, 6, or 7?
I take 6.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, of course, folks, as you realize, I got the jack. but that's just pure blind luck. But please remember the 4 is reversed, so I couldn't get the ace of spades. The ace of spades would be a lot more difficult because you'd have to deal face up. So as I always tell people, if you're going to play blackjack, reverse this card. Nobody can do this, and you're going to save yourself an awful lot of money. I just thought you'd like to know. Thank you. That's exactly what happened to me on Friday night. Saturday night was just a little bit different. Saturday night is what I call the night of coincidence. You see, folks, it was just by the sheerest coincidence that I happened to notice that the ace of spades and the ace of clubs happened to be on the bottom of the deck. What was even more of a coincidence is the ace of hearts and the ace of diamonds happened to be on top of the deck. The real coincidence? I was dealing. And tell me, sir, how many people would you like to see in this game? 5, 6, or 7?
4.
Was the question too difficult? 5, 6, or 7?
Okay. 6.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, of course, folks, as you realize, I got the ace of hearts because I needed it. Yes. Sir, I kept the ace of diamonds up here because I'm going to need it later on. Now, if you remember, we had the 2 red aces on top, so I wasn't dealing the top card. Wasn't dealing the second card. Couldn't have been dealing the bottom card. So what card was I dealing? Any card I want, right?
Right.
Now you're starting to understand. Now, of course, it's later on. Now, in this particular game, we're playing a game known as 7-card stud. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, they deal 2 cards face down, 4 up and 1 down. And if you remember, we have the ace of clubs on the bottom. So now I had to deal a deck something like that. Now, at this particular point in time, unknown to me, the fellow sitting right here was getting just a little bit suspicious. And, sir, I couldn't figure out why. So, sir, he asked to cut the deck. That, of course, will now place the ace of spades into the center. And, sir, how would you like me to deal the ace of spades? Face up, as in stud, or face down, as in draw?
Face down.
Face down. The ace of spades from the center of the deck. To myself. Can't be done. Here we go, going for the ace of spades from the center of the deck.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to gamble, gamble with a friend, and I hope you're all my friends. Thank you very kindly. We'll see you next week at the little corner.